As I was doing the video for Oberon, I found a character that was linked to his name. His name is Alberich. And it may not seem like a big thing, but this, at least in my opinion, was the inspiration for some of the greatest fantasy novels to be written. So, let's jump into Alberich, a formidable dwarf from German mythology. So Alberich is best known as the guardian of Nibelung's treasure. It's a hoard of immense wealth and power. Renowned for his strength, he was said to possess the might of 12 men. Most of his distinctive characteristics was his cunning and resourcefulness, and in many tales, Alberich was depicted as a complex figure capable of both great wisdom and great evil. He is often associated with the underworld and the forces of darkness, and despite his formidable power, he is often outwitted by more cunning or powerful figures. Alberich is a central figure in Germanic mythology. He's a dwarf, a creature deeply connected to the earth and its hidden treasures. Dwarves in Norse mythology are often depicted as skilled craftsmen working in the depths of the earth to forge weapons, armor, and jewelry. Alberich in particular is renowned for his mastery of smithcraft and his guardianship of the Nibelung hoard, a vast treasure of gold and jewels. As a guardian of this immense wealth, Alberich is a powerful figure. He possesses supernatural strength and cunning and allows him to protect the treasure from those who would seek to claim it. But his obsession with wealth and power often leads him down a destructive path. Alberich's connection to the earth is evident in his role as a miner and craftsman. He delves deep into the earth, extracting precious metals and gems, and this connection to the earth gives him a deep understanding of its secrets and power. The dwarves, with their association with the earth and its treasures, are recurring figures in many mythologies. They are often depicted as wise, skilled, and sometimes mischievous. Alberich, with his complex character and tragic fate, is one of the more iconic dwarves in Germanic mythology. The legendary hoard that Alberich is guarding is said to be hidden deep within the earth and guarded by powerful beings. As a guardian of this immense wealth, Alberich possesses immense power, and he's fiercely protective of the Nibelung hoard, using his strength and magical abilities to defend it from those who would seek to claim it. The hoard is a symbol of power and wealth and immortality, and Alberich is determined to keep it safe. The Nibelung hoard is also often associated with the Rhine River. The gold from which the hoard is made is said to have been extracted from the Rhine, giving the treasure a magical and mystical quality. The legend of the Nibelung hoard has captivated storytellers and artists for centuries. It's inspired countless works of literature, music, and art, and continues to fascinate audiences with its tales of greed, power, and the eternal allure of wealth. In Wagner's epic opera cycle, The Ring of Nibelungen, Alberich plays a pivotal role. A central theme in the cycle is the corrupting influence of greed and the pursuit of power. Alberich, who's a dwarf, embodies this theme, and to gain the power to forge the Ring of Nibelung, a source of immense power, he renounces love. This act of renouncing love is a significant moment in the opera cycle. It highlights the immense sacrifice that Alberich makes in pursuit of his goal. By forsaking love, he condemns himself to a life of loneliness and despair. The Ring of Nibelung, forged from the Rhine gold, becomes a symbol of greed and the destructive power of unchecked desire. It brings ruin to those who possess it, as they are consumed by its power and driven to acts of violence and betrayal. Alberich's renunciation of love serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of greed and the importance of human connection. It reminds us that true happiness and fulfillment can't be achieved through material wealth or power. Alberich is also a possessor of the powerful magical artifact known as Tarnhelm. This helm grants him the ability to change his shape at will, which allows him to transform into any creature or object he desires. With Tarnhelm, Alberich can become invisible, which allows him to move undetected and carry out his plans without fear of discovery. He can also disguise himself as other beings, deceiving his enemies and gaining an advantage. This ability makes him a formidable adversary, capable of outwitting even the most powerful heroes. The Tarnhelm is a symbol of Alberich's power and cunning. It's a tool that he uses to achieve his goals no matter the cost. But the helmet also serves as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the corrupting influence of greed. Ultimately, the Tarnhelm, like the Nibelung hoard, proves to be a curse rather than a blessing. It leads to tragedy and destruction, highlighting the destructive nature of unchecked ambition. Alberich is also renowned for his exceptional skills as a smith. He is a master craftsman, capable of forging weapons and armor of extraordinary power and durability. His creations are sought after by heroes and villains alike, and they often play a crucial role in epic battles and quests. The hoard is filled with treasures forged by his skilled hands, from enchanted swords to impenetrable shields. His creations are imbued with magical properties, and these artifacts can grant their wielders incredible power, but they also come with a heavy price. His skill as a smith is a testament to the ingenuity and creativity of the dwarven race. They are often depicted as masters of craftsmanship, capable of transforming raw materials into objects of great beauty and power. But Alberich's skill as a smith is often overshadowed by his greed and obsession with power. His creations, while powerful, are often used for destructive purposes, leading to tragedy and suffering. Alberich is also driven by an insatiable desire for wealth and power. The hoard, the Nibelung hoard, becomes the object of his obsession. He guards this treasure fiercely, driven by a desire to possess it for himself. And his greed leads him to make a Faustian bargain. He renounces love in order to gain the power, so he can forge the ring of the Nibelung. This magical artifact grants its wearer immense power. This act marks a turning point in his life as he becomes consumed by a relentless pursuit of wealth and domination. His obsession with the hoard and the ring ultimately leads to his downfall. His greed blinds him to the consequences of his action, and he becomes a pawn in a much larger cosmic struggle between gods and mortals. Alberich's character serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition. His pursuit of wealth and power leads to his own destruction and the suffering of others. Alberich's obsession with the Nibelung treasure sets in motion a chain of events that leads to tragedy and destruction. His relentless pursuit of wealth and power sparks conflict and wars as others seek to claim the treasure for themselves. And the ring of Nibelung, forged from the Rhine gold, becomes a symbol of greed and corruption. It's passed from one owner to the next, each seeking to use its power for their own needs. The ring's cursed nature brings suffering and death to all who possess it, and Alberich's actions, driven by his insatiable desire, have far-reaching consequences. His quest for power and wealth lead to the downfall of kingdoms and the destruction of countless lives. The saga, this Nibelung saga, is a reminder of the destructive power of greed and the importance of moderation and contentment. The story of Alberich is a warning of the dangers of unchecked ambition. It highlights the importance of using power wisely and responsibly and the consequences of allowing greed to consume us. And despite his immense power and cunning, Alberich is often manipulated and controlled by more powerful beings. His desire for the Nibelung treasure makes him vulnerable to the machinations of gods and other supernatural forces. And the gods, particularly a god named Wotan, recognized the power of the Nibelung treasure and tried to seek control of it for their own purposes. They manipulated Alberich, using his greed and ambition to achieve their own ends. Alberich's subservience to these higher powers highlights the limitations of his own power, and despite his wealth and strength, he is ultimately a pawn in a larger cosmic game. The tragic figure of Alberich serves as a reminder that even the most powerful beings are subject to the will of fate and the whims of gods. The Nibelung's treasure, which is the source of Alberich's obsession, becomes a symbol of greed and corruption. It blinds him to the consequences of his action and drives him to make reckless decisions. Despite his complex nature and tragic backstory, Alberich is ultimately a villainous figure in the grand scheme of the Nibelung myth. His relentless pursuit of power and wealth leads to suffering and destruction. Alberich's greed and obsession with the treasure drive him to make morally questionable choices. He's willing to sacrifice his own happiness and the well-being of others to achieve his goals. His actions have far-reaching consequences which lead to wars, bloodshed, and the downfall of civilizations. The cursed ring of the Nibelung, forged from the Rhine gold, becomes a symbol of the destructive power and greed and the tragic consequences of unchecked ambition. And while Alberich's character is complex and multifaceted, his ultimate role in the Nibelung myth is that of a villain. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked desire and the importance of humility and compassion. Alberich is a complex and fascinating figure. His unwavering pursuit of power and wealth, symbolized by the Nibelung treasure, drives the narrative of Nibelungenlied. While his actions may be morally questionable, he remains a compelling character embodying the destructive nature of unchecked ambition. His story serves as a timeless cautionary tale, reminding us of the importance of balance, moderation, and the pursuit of happiness.